Not bad, not bad. All right. All right, so ship design. The first message that I was sent, I had somebody said, hey, they asked me if I had any good builds for the Punisher, and would I put Hailstorm B or Phalanx 2 on the Punisher? If not, what would I put in place? His weapons are D110, so it sounds like he's nailed down on the weapon that he wants to use. It's the D110. And I asked, well, what purpose do you plan on using this for? And he says the FM and maybe the raid, so that I can get better hulls and everything like that, if you know what I mean. And of course I know what he means. But so the challenges, okay, the challenges. He's talking about the raid. The raid is siege targets, so it's pretty much the same thing as the base part mines as far as, which I can't see right now, but those have a weakness against ballistics, okay? And the Forsaken Mission targets have a weakness against explosive, okay? So if you go to any one of these strongholds or the base part mines, it tells you right here what the weaknesses are, what their strengths are. So their strengths, these do heavy penetrative damage and explosive damage, okay? Plus they have a cold snap effect. Not all hulls have the capacity to deal with cold snap. Punisher certainly does not. But anyway, and then the siege targets that we're currently doing in the raid, their weakness is ballistic. Their strengths are radioactive and ballistic. Okay, so we've got 2 different strengths. So we got 4 strengths total that we have to deal with that are challenges, and we got 2 completely different weaknesses. So quite honestly, I really, you know, the designs would be completely different. If you try to design a one for both, you're going to have something that's weak at both. Okay. So I'm just putting that out there, and hopefully that explains why. All right, so hopefully that explains that. But anyway, with that being said, let's go into the base here and look at the Punisher and see if we can come up with something that will be sort of kind of okay. Design mode, select hull, and that's a siege hull, right? The Punisher is. There it is. Go ahead and clear that off. And we already know that the weapons are D110s, and according to the message, would I put Hailstorm Bs and the Phalanx 2 on the Punisher? Okay, and that's anti-mortar, anti-missile. If you're doing it for Forsaken missions, then yeah, you need to have some kind of countermeasures for both mortars and for missiles, but probably more so missiles, because a lot of the mortars can be outrun. You're still going to get explosive damage from some of the turrets, so you don't want to go without explosive defense. You could probably go without the Hailstorm Bs more than anything. But anyway, let's take a look here. So we do have assault deflection and siege deflection, 500 of each, and you're going to need them both in the Forsaken mission. We have so I said in Forsaken missions you need to have explosive defense and penetrative defense. So right now the penetrative defense is 60, the explosive defense is 40. Okay, so that's something to consider. I guess maybe I should start off just by putting some weapons on there. I know the D110 is what he is apparently going to be using, so that's a cannon, and that's it right here. I always want to hold down the control key. I don't know if anybody else does that. From playing around on Huggies, you know, the control key allows you to drop the same weapon into each slot over and over again. Battle Pirates doesn't have that awesome functionality. It really should, though. So we're just going to start off with, you know what? Let's go ahead and go with 8, just because. I don't know if anybody remember ever seeing my chart, but I did the chart for the BV show, and I think I may actually have it in my downloads right now, because let me see downloads, because I did publish it recently. This is it right here. This one right here talks about, well, I have the D110 in this column right here, and it's right next to the Arbalist. The damage is quite a bit higher on the D110 railgun. The weight, let me see, weight right here, 650 versus 315, and so the 110 is a lot lighter, and it does a lot more damage. But the reload's quicker too. Look at that. It kind of makes it look like it's even more accurate right here. The building damage is quite a bit less. The building damage is a lot less. So when it comes to buildings, the Arbalest would be better. When it comes to killing ships, the D110 would be better. But I don't know. I guess if you get enough. I know there's building damage buffs that you're going to want to use. So the DPS on an Arbalest is 15.1 and 106 on the D110 railgun. Huge difference. But when it comes to building damage, the Arbalest does 639 to 298, so more than double. And that's also a huge difference. All right. So I don't know. A mix between the two for Forsaken missions might actually be best, the Arbalest and the D110. But if you're bent on having, hold on a second, let me open that one more time because I didn't factor in the weight. Let me see here, weight wise, it looks like weight wise the Arbalest is still better deal for damage, but not by much. Where on the railgun D110, it is significant. It's a huge difference between those two. So I don't know. Maybe the 110s is the better way to go. So that's how to compare the two. How the two compare. So anyway, we got 8 of them on there now. I probably would not worry about the anti-mortar. The countermeasures for anti-missiles would probably be good, and obviously the best that you have. So if the best that you have, according to that message, was Phalanx 2, Phalanx 2 is not that great in comparison. I mean, the range isn't that great, but let's just go ahead and put them on there because that's what you got. And then if you're going to try to outrun mortars, you need speed. So I don't know if you got speed system 5 or not. I'm kind of hoping you do. You're going to want some kind of range buff on there. So generally, hopefully you got the nuclear accelerator. If you don't have the nuclear accelerator, then HB3, which is a researchable tech, that'd be something you want. That gives you the range. It doesn't give you the accuracy, but it gives you the range. The accuracy is not going to be that important against the buildings, but against the ships, it may. Even though the ships don't really move. You might want to get something, hopefully, I mean, I really don't know what all you might have, but you want to boost your countermeasures up as much as you can. There are a few different kinds of specials that does this. You have the countermeasure equipment system that gives you extra range and accuracy on your countermeasures. There are, right here we have countermeasure loaders 3. That also gives you, it actually gives you a reload buff on your guns too. So you'd get a ballistic reload buff, and you would get the anti-mortar range and accuracy. So that would be a pretty good one as well. There's even, well, the siege reloader is really just for the ballistics. It's something that you can put on there. But quite honestly, if you just want to focus on the ballistics, then you might want to just use autoloader 3 or something like that. Because this is like 10% across the board for everything, and you don't really need it for everything. Oh, this does give you the building damage buff of 75%, which is pretty awesome. You probably want a special with turret defense. So this right here gives you building damage and turret defense. Siege battery, I think, is a must-have. I would definitely put that on there. And let me see here. I know we had something else for countermeasures. I'm just trying to remember exactly what it was. I know it was frontline. Frontline. Let me see. I must have jumped right over it again. It could possibly. Let me see if it's like maybe grayed out. Yeah, it is grayed out. This is it right here, and that gives you anti-mortar accuracy and range. and also turret defense. So I could put that on there instead of this. All right, so let me put the other one on there instead. Let me see. So that gives you the turret defense, and it boosts your anti-mortars like big time. But you still want to have some kind of building damage buff, and that those options are actually still in here. So you have let me see, siege reloader is that would give you a big building damage buff. The siege targeting up here also gives you a big building damage buff. That doesn't give you the ballistic reload, but it does. Mine is fully retrofitted, so my numbers are a lot higher. And at this point, you probably want to think about some kind of defense too, defensive buff on here. So the main one, if you're doing Forsaken missions, like I said, that's explosive and penetrative. There are alloys for that. You see right here we have the MX2 alloy. There's MX3 alloy that gives you explosive defense, penetrating defense. Now, if you're wanting to use it also for the raid, which is radioactive and ballistic, there's an alloy for that that's CL3 alloy. And if you're looking for something that covers all of that, all of the above, I don't know that there is one, quite honestly. I don't think there is. All right. So just dealing with it for Forsaken missions, because Forsaken missions, or I'm sorry, for the raid, you're not going to need the countermeasures. You can actually go all railguns if you needed to. And so with that right there, you could actually, I got the building damage up pretty good. I've got the ballistic range is up to 90, which is as high as you can get it. The ballistic reload's at 60. Let me see, defenses. So now the explosive defense is up to 73, penetrating is up to 84. If you have some explosive, I don't have anything on here for evade either. The evade right now is 56. So evade would definitely help you out with the missiles a little bit, but explosive defense is something. So you have, just saying you have armor options, you have the evade, which would come in handy. You have explosive, which would definitely come in handy for Forsaken missions, and then you also have penetrative right here. And if you're able to use the D5 versions, you get extra deflection, and a higher penetrating defense buff. So that's really what I would try to recommend. So, and yeah. So, and you're not going to evade. The evade's not going to help you at all against the explosive damage that you're going to take. But you could always just pick on the turrets, the defense platforms that don't have evade. I mean, don't have explosive, if that's what you're worried about. So if you want to, if those ones give you, if the rockets are giving you a hard time, just stay away from them and try to kill everything else, you know, and go all penetrative armor. I mean, that's an option. So that's when dealing with Forsaken missions. I don't know how great this is going to be in the modern targets. Like I said, you really want to watch out for the rockets. The missiles may track pretty good. I really don't know how good these Phalanx 2 are going to do. You may decide you wanted to go with 4 of these instead. Phalanx 2s, that could possibly help. I would imagine it decrease your accuracy and all that stuff. I mean, it definitely helps with your penetrating defense. But anyway, so that's one thought. That's a thought. And if you were going to go with the raid, so here, like I said, we have radioactive and ballistic. So you have the CL3 alloy. Put that on there. You don't need the phalanx in that, so you could actually just go all ballistics, cannon and railgun and railgun. And so now you don't need the frontline countermeasure system anymore. You still want the turret defense, because that one's like all turret defense. So you probably end up wanting to go with the Siege Battery 3 on that one. So now I've got like 2 specials that give monster building damage. Okay, you could either keep it that way, and that may be beneficial. You may find something else that might help even more. Let me see. I don't know if there's something that might actually buff the cannons even more. Well, actually, quite honestly, the building damage is... Siege targeting may be the way to go. There are going to be stuff in there. There will be targets in the siege targets that could potentially stun you. So agility system may be a good option to add evade, as well as stun resistance. So something like that would be a good option. So that would be something I would use more for the raid. But anyway, that's all I got. Were there any thoughts in the chat? I'm sorry, I literally wasn't watching the chat as much probably as I probably should have. It's kind of bouncing around. All right, well, it looks like chat was pretty slow. So, but anyway, also in the raid target, if you wanted to actually put on extra radioactive armor, that is an option. You have radioactive armor here, the D4R to D5R. And there's also the ballistic armor, which we kind of already covered up here with the D3C to D5C. I think there's actually as a D1C as well. Just whatever you can get in there, really. It's just whatever's giving you a hard time. Damage is going to be unavoidable, quite honestly. You may want to go with... I don't know if you want to go with a radioactive plate. I mean, that's quite possibly an option. I don't know what the bypass is like in the new targets and their siege raid targets. So I don't know if they have deflection bypass, then this wouldn't do you any good at all. If it was any defense bypass, then this wouldn't do you any good, right? So it's just one of those mysteries that we're not really sure of. Which one would benefit you the most? So hopefully that answers your question. All right. Anyway, I guess at this point I'm gonna go ahead and end that conversation.